So you're wondering, like, maybe you're not Chinese or Asian. How it is like living as a Chinese person compared to being an American or whites or blacks. I can't speak for all people, but I think overall there are a lot of advantages being Chinese. First of all, even if you're in America, then you're a minority, but you will definitely find Chinese people everywhere. And if you know the Chinese, like the dialect or Mandarin, you're gonna find like a good hookup for Chinese food everywhere. They're gonna give you more stuff. They're gonna serve you a little bit better, and that is for sure. It is unfortunately true. If I mean, quite honestly, if you're a black person who knows how to speak very good Mandarin, you go to a Chinese restaurant and order Chinese food, people are gonna treat you good as well. So it's not discrimination because of race. I think this looks better. And yeah, what else do I think is pretty good? I think it's good the fact that, see, my parents were already pretty educated, and I think overall Asians are, well, just not just Asians, but I think Chinese specifically is that I think we do have a clear advantage when it comes to either studies or academics. I personally am kind of average. I'm not that smart compared to other Asians, but of course, compared to like regular, um, Americans, there's not a lot of contests. I'm still would be the top 2%. Compared to you guys, and I think that's a really good advantage. I think it's really good. Um, being as an Asian, I could always find some way to do okay in academics, versus for others will struggle a lot more. You know, I will struggle definitely less. I have more avenues of figuring things out. I think it's a chicken or the egg thing. If your parents know something of in academics, have done it or been there, done that, then it's a lot easier for you. So it is inherently possibility. Another thing I like being as Chinese is that we don't really have like as much vices. We have only like the biggest vice that we have is like gambling, and I'm not a big gambler, so I pretty much just don't not attracted to drinking. There aren't as many alcoholics in China, not like the amount in Europe, either Western Europe or Eastern Europe, or other places. It's just genetically we're not as more likely to be inclined into that. Another thing I really enjoy being as me as an Asian person, not maybe others, is that when I meet an Asian girl, I really don't have any problems. Like if we want to move forward, there's definitely gonna be a second date if I wanted to. But that's just me. I know there are a lot of Asian guys, or Chinese guys, they get rejected by their own people, their own girls. But for me, it's a little bit different. Um, so yeah, I think that's an advantage. Um, what else? I think getting my first job was pretty easy as an Asian guy. So because I think in the beginning for me, it's just I have the academics, and also I think at the time back then, I was like non-threatening Asian. I was like looking like a you know, I don't look like 100% Asian. They might look like not as ethnic. That's the key word for it. Yeah, they don't think I'm mixed or something, but they think I'm not as ethnic. I think if you are very ethnic in a good way, it's okay. Like a non-threatening way, that's even better. So yeah, my friend, he looks very non-threatening, very short Asian guy, but he takes a lot of notes. Really speak very clearly. Great listener. Already got up to the very top of the corporate level very quickly. So that I do not have. I do not possess that, unfortunately. So for him, it's good, and he got a really really tall like wife at the end. So maybe to make up for his stature, whatever it is, I'm sure he's really happy now. So that's good. And yeah, I think I'm less confrontational as well. I think not all. I think a lot of Chinese people are less confrontational compared to like Koreans. I know a lot of Korean guys always get into fight and stuff like that. Not as many for Chinese guys for some reason. Chinese guys, more a little bit more laid back, you know. And on top of that, we're all pretty good with like money overall. Like we don't really overspend as much. Not compared to, like again, like maybe Koreans. Yeah, Koreans are just more flashy people, you know. I think they're very cool people, but they're a little more flashier, you know. Definitely like interesting swag coming from them. No, definitely have a personality, that's for sure. Um, love life, business life. Um, yeah, just wherever it is, it's definitely Chinese is definitely a main language wherever you go. You're gonna find people speaking Chinese everywhere. Even if you go to Portugal or South America, Africa, doesn't really matter. You're gonna find, anytime you could go there and speak Chinese, and yeah, I think some of the localers will definitely help you out. You can't say that for other languages. Like you could say you could speak English, go to other places. You might have another person that speaks English to you, but he might not help you. Versus for Chinese is almost like 90% of the time they will definitely help you on some ways. Um, so that's the thing. There are a lot of good things being Chinese. I don't really understand why some American-born Chinese they think like I have to learn to embrace your culture. It's like who you are. You don't have to learn it. It's just there are a lot of advantages like being Chinese. Um, yeah, especially nowadays, everything it's Chinese are everywhere, so it's pretty good. I think it's pretty good nowadays being Chinese. 20 years ago, not as good, you know. So, um, but I think nowadays people think that we are conquering or invading other people's culture. I mean, in a way, you could say that there are a lot of influences, but it's not my fault. You can't really come up to me and tell me like yeah, I don't like Xi Jinping, or I don't like the Hong Kong government and stuff like that. It's just not my nothing I could do about it. Let's talk about some of the stuff that Chinese people are not. Sometimes I don't like as much about Chinese people. First of all, to me, I think the food is a little bit greasy. That actually gets me. I'm actually not as into Chinese food as compared to other people. The chow mein and stuff like that. try to avoid. It's a little bit addictive sometimes. The MSGs, we're polluting ourselves. It's almost impossible to actually eat something. Impossible in China to eat something that hasn't been processed. It hasn't been, fiddled with. You know what I'm saying? And lastly, is like, are you sure those they didn't overuse a lot of pesticides and stuff like that? It's just those things together makes me wonder, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of Chinese products. I mean, even if, even it's like, another thing I don't like as much about Chinese people, but Chinese in general, or Cantonese Chinese, is just, it's an abundance of pork. I mean, I used to like it more, but I think it's just, I don't think it's really a lot of nutritional value in pork. I think there's a lot of fat. On top of that, religiously, I don't think that's good for you. I think there are like 3 religions that actually are kind of against it. If you count Christianity as well, I mean, you should. In Leviticus, it did say that we shouldn't eat pork. So, anyways, so Chinese, another thing is that I don't like as much is that socially it's just, sometimes I feel a little bit awkward sometimes, like especially when I were in America. There are some stuff that I guess white people or black people or other Hispanics, they might do something like kind of silly or dumb. Yeah, and I just feel like I'm not interested into hanging out doing those stuff anymore. It's like, why can't you just get into your business or your school stuff? It's you feel a little bit out of place, man. I mean, I don't think those are stupid. Social things are a way to growth, but I think they use a little bit more time than they should. So that's what I think. So I lost a lot of my friends, things like that. Definitely back then, dating was definitely an issue. I think for a lot of Asian guys, it continues to be an issue. If you're at ABC, even if you're like a frog, whatever, it's you're not gonna very easily find the person who has the same passion, feel the same way as you do. They're not gonna be, it's gonna very very hard to find somebody who's mutually as attractive. That you're attracted to, and they're attracted to you the same way back. I think it's really tough. If you're an Asian guy, maybe if you're an Asian woman, it'd be really easy. So that doesn't really apply to a guy. I think if you're an Asian woman, I think you'd be very hot for a lot of people. But I think when it comes to finding a very high quality Asian guy, then you're gonna be in trouble, because like those very high quality Asian guys are very, very in demand. And I think like, if you're just a very good Asian girl, I don't think like there's much of a chance until, because it's just the fact that there's so few of them, very very awesome Asian guys. They look great, they are good, and on top of that, they're gonna be very popular. It's tough, man. Another thing that I really dislike being as an Asian guy when I was in school back then was whatever I write back then, it's just like if they see me with the Asian name on the back, unless I write something really, really awesome, really distinguished, they usually give me a worst grade than other people. I think looking back, actually wrote pretty good. I think looking back, actually there were some. Actually, I did some open tests that didn't. They couldn't see my name, who was there, and I actually got a pretty good score. Versus when people know me, the teacher knows me and actually grades me, then gives me a worse score. Especially essays and stuff like that, because those are very not clearly defined how to. It is marked. So yeah, I mean that part really stinks. Yeah, I think we could go back to the dating part. I think there were so many times that somebody want some, for a while you just said like, dude, I just want some regular looking girls, like that is not Asian, like give it a try, I'm saying, go out and date. A lot of times they at the last second they just decline me. I don't know if that happens to a lot of Asian guys, but I'm sure. Or like there's no second date follow up. That's usually the case, man. Sure is a lot better now. Why not? People are a lot more open minded. I don't know, man. You know what else? Like, but I could talk about another thing that was really good for being an Asian guy. Whenever I get pulled over by a cop, they usually never really give me a super hard time. Usually it's just a ticket, or I could talk myself out of it, or something like that. So yes, it's good, but I don't know. I mean, I got another Vietnamese friend. I guess he looks a little more gangsterish. I guess he said like, yeah, everybody asked me if I was in a gang or something, and no, that has never happened to me. So overall, I have to say, like I lived a pretty good life. It's not fantastic, not like Andrew Tate or something, but what are the chances, right? But if you actually already are living pretty good or a little bit above average, and get exposed to a lot of stuff, then it's pretty good. I mean, I don't know if you're an Asian guy or a Chinese guy out there. Things are things are for is very good nowadays. It's actually the best time to be an Asian. Doesn't matter if you're a guy or a girl. If Asia is doing well, you're doing good. That's the thing. So don't think like it demises, like it diminishes you. No, like you should always look forward to your home country doing better. And people, when your home country is doing better, people respect you. They might fear you, they might dislike you, but they respect you. It is a fact. Anyway, so thank you. Talk to you later.